The Biden administration's Department of Health and Human Services has proposed a new rule that would target and penalize potential Christian foster parents by claiming they would not provide a safe or appropriate environment for children due to their biblical values. Now, what we've seen happening in the foster care system is a decline in families actually opening their doors to foster children. So we're actually at a crisis point, but here we have the federal government under the Biden administration wanting to actually push more families out of the foster care system. And given the crucial role that faith-based participants in the child welfare system play, why would the Biden administration pursue a policy that will only hurt vulnerable children? Joining me now to discuss this and more is Congresswoman Mary Miller, who joined with several of her Republican colleagues to send a letter to the Department of Health and Human Services demanding a rescission of this proposed rule. She serves on the House Committee on Agriculture and the House Committee on Education and the Workforce. She represents the 15th Congressional District of Illinois. Congresswoman Miller, welcome back to the program. Good to see you.
Hi, thank you for having me on. It's another sad day under the rule of the Biden administration.
So how will this help children?
Well, it's not going to help children, but they've proven they don't care about children and they don't care about parents. They care about big government and they have an agenda of total control. They want people to be weak. This is damaging children, our next generation. It's going to cause, instability for these kids that need stable homes to be, placed in. I know in Illinois, they went after Catholic foster care, and thankfully the Catholic services backed out. I mean, it's bad. They refused to place children in same-sex households, and we lost 5,000 foster homes. It's very sad.
Yeah, so it's the children that suffer from this. But so to be clear for our viewers and our listeners, this rule that is being proposed by the Biden administration would mandate that foster parents and families utilize a foster child's identified pronouns, chosen name, and allow the child to dress in an age-appropriate manner that the child believes reflects their self-identified gender identity and expression. What this does is that it essentially says the only answer to this issue of gender dysphoria is to go along with the federal government's approach. If you're a Bible-believing Christian, and you believe that a child, as an individual, you're made in the image of God and that He created you, you can't teach the child that. That would run afoul of what the Biden administration is proposing.
I mean, it's a total attack on freedom of conscience, freedom of religion. And the other thing I can't get over is that the Biden administration is promoting the radical mutilation of a child's body to get the body to fit the mind instead of helping the child's mind fit the body. And no matter how much you mutilate the body, every cell in that child's body is either XX or XY. I mean, this is just, it's insane. They don't represent the American people. They're completely out of touch with the American people. American people don't support this.
So this rule implies, and I'm actually quoting from the letter that you sent to the Department of Health and Human Services. The rule implies that to not affirm a child's sexual orientation or gender identity is abuse. And this sets a dangerous precedent way beyond simply this rule for adoption.
Right. These people are perverts. Every person in the Biden administration's cabinet is just so radical. They don't represent the American people. And this Secretary Cardona has been promoting transgenders in girls' athletics and in their locker rooms, in their safe spaces. They are promoting just perverted literature in libraries, going after parents and schools that want to resist. And we're not getting that much done here in Congress, but one thing we can do is stop some of the bad agenda, and we are going to be loud about this. It's continual radicalization of our country, and I just want to tell the American people, don't be afraid to speak up and push back.
Well, essentially what this is saying is that government under Joe Biden knows better than God what is best for children. Yeah. That's essentially what this administration is saying when it comes to the LGBTQ agenda, which they are, I've said this before, it is the unholy trinity for them. It is abortion, the LGBTQ agenda, and climate. It's in everything, everything that they do. You mentioned,
well,
go ahead.
Apparently they believe it because Cardona misrepresented President Reagan and misquoted him.
Well, so I want to go to that. I want to play that clip because I know you serve on the Committee on Education, and this is very telling. This is what happens when the Secretary of Education has, the whole federal agency on education is more focused on bathrooms than obviously teaching history. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play this clip. This is the Secretary speaking earlier this month at this is a Western Governors Association in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, a very, very difficult place to go. Play clip number 4.
We're going to set up follow-up calls with every governor we met with to make sure we're available. As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.
Now, he didn't realize what he was saying. Obviously, he doesn't know his history. But I want to play the clip from Ronald Reagan where he used this a lot. He said this a lot. But play clip number 5.
I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Mary, how do you respond to that?
Well, he also said in this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. And I think that the American people have a very low view of government, and the, quote, experts that want to rule every aspect of their life, they can't even figure out basic biology. And I don't know, I've been rereading Deuteronomy 28 about the blessings and cursings on a nation if they obey or disobey God. And one of the curses is that he would put us in, or put the nation in confusion. And, we're completely in confusion. We need to go back, repent, turn back to God, acknowledge that God's ways are perfect. He created us. He knows what's best. I always told my kids that the government is a necessary evil and it needs to be constantly kept at bay. It's like a cancer that wants to continue to grow. We need just accountability, and we need to hold these people accountable for trying to, just destroy our children, body, soul, and spirit.
So true. So true. And I tell folks all the time that what we do here in Washington, D.C. is just to keep the barbarians at bay so that the church and believers can do the work that they've been called to win hearts and minds of people. And this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. Going after Christian foster parents, keeping them from being able to provide a safe environment for children. Mary, thanks for joining us today, and thanks once again for your leadership on Capitol Hill.
You're welcome. Thank you.